Welcome to the video tutorial on the University Time Tracking System. This is the first in a series of videos on time tracking that is accessed through the PAWS portal, providing a secure online service for reporting and approving sick, vacation, and other paid absences. The system is currently used by employees in positions that are exempt, within scope of CUPE 1975, within scope of ASPA, and their supervisors. Following are the features on the time tracking pages in PAWS. An optional vacation authorization process for tracking vacation requests and authorizations online, report absences for vacation, sick leave, family personal leave for emergent personal or family situations, compassionate leave for bereavement or life-threatening family illness, jury court leave for jury duty or as a court witness, and professional development for attendance at courses, seminars, and conferences. This video will go through the process of an employee reporting time taken and submitting monthly timesheets. You will first log into PAWS and then navigate to the employee, then My Employment channel. You will see a link called Time Reporting. We'll go ahead and click on this link. The first page you will see is a time summary page, which is the record of your time usage, accrual, and balances per fiscal year. Your vacation accrual date will display, which is the date that is used in our central system to calculate the rate at which you will accrue vacation each month. This is the last date of the hire, adjusted by any leaves or layoffs greater than 31 days. You can refer to the relevant collective agreement for further information on the accrual rates in years of service. A fiscal year scroll will display. You may click on this to navigate to past or future fiscal years. For employees in positions within scope of CUPE 1975, May 2014 to April 2015 is the first fiscal year that will display. Each of the month links within the fiscal year display on the left. The time types that will display as a default are those that we calculate accruals for in our central system. For employees in positions within scope of CUPE 1975, this will be both vacation and sick leave. For exempt staff or those within scope of ASPA, this will be vacation only, as accruals or balances aren't stored centrally for sick leave. The next column displays the hours reported each month by time type. They are currently displaying as 0 as no time has yet been recorded in this fiscal year. We then have the hours accrued. If the accrual is 0, that means that the central accruals have not yet been run for the month. These will be run and display around the end of the third week in each month. So for example, the accrual for May will appear towards the end of the third week in May. And finally, the balance is displayed. For May, this is the balance that is carried forward from April of the previous fiscal year. For new employees starting in the current fiscal year, the balance will display in your month of hire. The time reported, accrual, and balance is displayed in hours, so that there is a common basis for reporting and calculating time, and you won't have to determine what portion of a day to report time if it's taken for less than a day. To determine how many days this is, you'll just divide your total balance by the full-time working hours per day for your position. For example, if you are in a clerical position, you would take these total hours of 190.5 divided by 7 hours a day, which gives you a balance of 27.2 full days, which should be used in this fiscal year. The hours summary per fiscal year displays at the bottom of the page. This will track your total time taken and accrual per fiscal year, separated by each time type. To review or add time, you will go to the month that you want to add time for and click on the link. So we're going to go ahead and look at May 2014. A calendar will display. The current view option is by week for mobile view, or you may click on by month to see the complete calendar. The vacation row or sick and vacation row for employees in positions within scope of CUPE 1975 will display each month. To enter time, you will just record the hours on the appropriate day in the calendar. If you know these days in advance, for example for vacation, they may be recorded for current or future months. For other time types, you can just enter them as they occur and then click on the Save to save the entries. I'm going to go ahead and enter a few different time types for the month so you can see how they are displayed. So we'll start with vacation. We're going to enter 7 hours on the 1st and another 7 hours on the 2nd. As you are doing the entry, the hours that are entered will be reported under the hours reported by month, and the balance will automatically reduce. I'm now going to go ahead and enter some sick time, so we'll enter 7 hours on the 23rd, and you'll watch here as I'm doing the entry, the hours reported will increase and the balance will reduce. So put 7 hours here, and I'm going to tab, and you'll notice this will be recorded. And I can again save at any point after doing the entry. To enter other time, you will click on the Add Other Time button. You may also click on the question mark beside each button to display the help text for each of these features. So we'll click on Add Other Time, and there will be an arrow now that displays the additional time that we can select. So I'm going to select compassionate leave, and I will enter 3 hours on the 26th. And again, I'll save, and you'll note that the hours reported by month here are now recorded. For any of the other time types that are manually added, no hours accrued or current balance will display. These will only display for the sick and vacation time types. You will click on the Add Other Time each time you would like to add another time type. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to enter some personal leave. So we'll go to the end here on the 30th, and I'm going to add some hours. For personal leave for jobs within scope of CUPE 1975, the personal leave is deducted from the employee's sick leave balance. So we'll watch here, the balance here is under sick leave is 2,294.94. I'm going to enter 4 hours of personal leave on the 30th, and you'll note as I tab out that the sick leave does reduce. If you are entering personal or family leave for jobs within scope of ASPA or exempt staff, this will not reduce from a sick leave balance as that balance is not recorded centrally. If you have any further questions on time allowed under each of these time types, you may refer to the relevant collective agreement or employee handbook for further information, or consult with the HR analyst for your unit. If you want to remove time that has been entered, you can navigate to the end of the row and click on the Delete icon. It will confirm that you want to delete. We'll click on OK, and then we'll save the changes. We've clicked on Save, and we're now going to navigate back to Time Summary to see how these will be displayed. On the May 2014 calendar, you will see the vacation, the sick leave, and the personal time that we entered on the time reporting page. The time other than sick and vacation will only display when it was entered on the calendar in the time reporting. The hours summary at the bottom now displays all the time with the total balances or hours reported per fiscal year. The status will show as open if the monthly time has not yet been submitted. Although the status displays beside vacation, the status refers to the complete timesheet. The only time it refers specifically to vacation is with a vacation requested or authorized status, which is covered in a separate tutorial on the vacation request process. The timesheet should be reviewed and then submitted once all time has been added for the complete month. To do this, we'll click on the month link. We'll review the time, and once we're ready to proceed, we will click on the Submit button. You will get a message that asks if you want to submit the time. We will say yes. Once it's been submitted, the status will change to awaiting approval. The submission history will track the date and other information on the submission. Your supervisor will now review the timesheet and will approve that the time has been taken as recorded. Once this is done, the status will change to approved. If you want to make a change to what was submitted, you may do so if the status is still awaiting approval and in a submitted status. The Reopen button will display for you. So we'll click on the Reopen, and you'll notice that the information is displaying in the submission history. We're going to navigate to Time Summary, and we'll now see that this month, I'm going to go forward to this fiscal year, this month is in a reopen status. We're going to navigate back to Time Reporting. We are going to make whatever changes were required, so we're going to add some more vacation hours for the 5th. We will tab, we'll save, and then we will submit. And again, it will ask us if we want to submit. We'll click on yes, and we'll go back to Time Summary, and now we will see that it's in a submitted status. If a change should be made after the monthly time is approved, you can contact your supervisor or department administrator who will be able to reopen the timesheet. If it is reopened, you will receive an email from About Us Notifications that your timesheet was reopened with any further comments from your supervisor or administrator. A timesheet may be reopened at any time in the current fiscal year, even after it has been approved or processed. It can't, however, be reopened for a prior fiscal year, so once we are in May 2014, no changes can be made online for time up to April 30th, 2014. If time should be changed for a prior fiscal year, you would have to contact the payroll department to have a manual adjustment made to your balance. The system doesn't require you to submit a timesheet if there are 0 hours to report for any given month. You can just leave this in an open status unless your department directs you to do otherwise. Your unit may ask you to submit each month as confirmation that the timesheet has been reviewed. So we'll look at doing this for June. We'll click on the monthly link. So we are now in the month of June and we don't have any hours to record. I'll go ahead and click on Submit. There will be a message that identifies that the timesheet has 0 hours reported. It will indicate you are only required to submit it when you have taken hours, unless directed otherwise by your department. So if you want to proceed with submitting 0 hours, click on Yes. And again, you'll notice that it is in a submitted status. And again, it will still be awaiting approval by your supervisor to approve that no time had been taken for that month. We'll return to Time Summary. We'll go ahead to this fiscal year, and we'll see now for May, the time was reported as submitted, and for June, there are 0 hours still in a submitted status. You can check with your unit for guidelines on whether you should submit your timesheet with 0 hours. I'm displaying a timesheet for an employee within scope of ASPA. You'll see only the vacation time type defaults on the page, and a number of different statuses are appearing. An open status means the timesheet hasn't been submitted for the month. Submitted means the monthly calendar has been submitted and is awaiting approval by the supervisor. Approved, the monthly time has been reviewed by the supervisor and approved that the time was taken as submitted. Processed, the approved time has been picked up and processed in the central time tracking system. And reopened, either the employee or supervisor has reopened the timesheet. You can click on the month link to see the history of the submission and who opened the calendar with any associated comments. Once the accruals have been run, the hours accrued balance will also display in the hours summary. This will display for vacation for all employee groups, as well as sick leave for employees within scope of CUPE 1975. If I navigate to a previous fiscal year, you can see that the status is locked. The balance at the end of the last fiscal year, so we're looking at the 263.57, will carry forward to the current fiscal year with this month accrual now added on to the balance. Any additional time types that were added throughout the year, in this instance sick leave and personal leave, will display in the hours summary for that fiscal year. This completes the video on reporting and submitting time. You may view other time tracking tutorials on approving time taken as the supervisor, requesting vacation as the employee, or authorizing vacation as the supervisor. If you have any further questions, you may contact your department or Human Resources at 6270 or hr.inquiries@usask.ca. Thanks for watching.